Hey everybody, it's Sara Racy Tabrizi with ATHLETEIST'S, and I'm here with the one and only Stretch Armstrong, and we're just gonna ask a couple questions today. Basically, I'm titling this "You Always Need to Stretch Before You Work Out," and so you always need stretch before you work out, because music and athletics just are, they're combined, and getting your body pumped. That hype music that just gets your adrenaline going for any kind of athlete, whether you're in, high school, I was, music always got us going. So, do you work out?
You can't tell.
I was gonna ask I was like, he stays lean, and it's like you're blessed.
I'm the lean. The type of lean I am is not working out ever. Yeah, I don't work.
You're naturally like, which some people are blessed.
I'll
with.
go to the gym and say to myself, all right, I'm gonna really do this, and then I'll do it for a month, and then the gym just bores the hell out of me. It's horrible.
I need to be outside.
But as a tall man with back problems, I've actually been going to yoga on a regular basis for the last few weeks, and I'm actually getting into it.
Okay.
I think it's gonna stick.
That's good.
But I'm a tennis player.
That's hard.
Tennis is a great sport. You can play it your whole life. And speaking of music and sports, when you play tennis, it's supposed to be without any disturbance. You're not supposed to talk. You go to the tennis matches and everyone's quiet during the points. Of course, the U.S. Open, people get a little rowdy in between points, which is that New York character.
Of course.
But I've always wanted to play tennis with someone playing music loudly.
Wouldn't that
would be fun?
Yeah. Just have a
help
whole...
you stay on your toes.
Exactly.
Bounce around. Because, in tennis, you got to stay on the balls of your feet at all times.
Yeah. I watch Serena, and, and they're shouting, and do you grunt when you hit, or are you one of those
Sometimes,
loud,
yeah.
Okay.
Not like that. I don't moan.
Okay. That's always awkward in the gym, though, because, the guys and girls that moan, it just makes it very uncomfortable.
They do that
for
in the gym?
What?
Really?
And you just turn your earphones up, and it's like, is this sexual? Is this
are they wearing headphones? They can't hear themselves.
Oh, sometimes I think they enjoy the tension of.
Are there exhibitionists like that at the gym?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because men probably like that.
You just can't win. I know. But no, but music definitely it just amps you up, and tennis music, that's a good thing.
Well, you see all the young tennis players, before they come out to the court, they've got their headphones on, and they're, the tennis channel sometimes interviews tennis players. They do I think they do a bag check, and it's like, what's in your tennis bag, and sometimes they'll ask them what are you listening to when you come out on the court, and I'll say the thing about athletes, a lot of athletes, and I think that's because I think professional athletes, for the most part, they started really taking sports seriously as almost like a full-time job, going back to high school or even earlier. And I think sometimes those people, the other facets of life get neglected, and I think one of those things is the ability to have the time to search out new music and to sort of get your own musical taste. And I've found that most pro athletes have very generic taste in music.
Okay. I'm going to get to you on that. That's the next
I'm
topic.
sure many don't. There are a lot of pro athletes that were really into underground hip hop and know what's up. But invariably, I see tennis players in particular, being asked, "What are you listening to?" And I think tennis is a particular sport where there's the amount of time that goes into nurturing an individual career in tennis that goes back to being even before you're a teenager there's just an astronomical time commitment. And you get these guys they're kind of like sports nerds. They're cool because they're pro athletes, but they're socially awkward. They don't really know what's going on.
Oh yeah.
They just are able to grab from what's immediately in front of them. So they're going out on the court and they're listening to Drake.
Yeah.
Or they're listening to Rihanna. Okay. And that's pretty much it.
And I went to...
And I'm here to help them.
I know. I was like,
that's
that's one reason I really want to talk to you, because first of all, you judge people off what they like in music. Saying when
you can't help it.
Okay.
And that goes back to from when you were a kid, right?
Yeah. Up. Okay.
You clicked up by, what music you liked. And
well, we both, I mean, I love old school, and that's the reason I'm drawn to like that type of era. I love old hip hop. I love, I don't want to piss anybody off, but today's music, I can take it for about 10 minutes and I'm just kind of like, it all sounds the same in a sense. And I'm always on the old school stations, almost like 90% of the time. I'm listening to old school hip hop. And what do you think? I'm just basically, what do you feel about new music today?
There's a universe of music out there.
That's what and not many people know about that.
The problem is there aren't people like a Stretch and Bobbito that are taking, everything from the ether that's out there and condensing it into a weekly.
So do that. Why don't you guys start? You guys would be
because I'm not interested in that.
You don't want to do that?
No, I don't want to do that.
Okay. You'd be geniuses. I mean, obviously.
But it's you have to find those people, whether they're doing whether they're just doing whether they're on community college radio stations or just super underground podcasts or on Mixcloud or whatever. I mean, they're out there, and there's plenty of incredible music. Whether you're talking about underground hip hop or whatever, it's just we live in just such a the way information is disseminated, including music. It's just we live in an incredibly schizophrenic time.
Yeah,
and I don't think it's ever going to really change. And I also know that there are even more mainstream outlets, like if you go to Apple Music and guys like Q-Tip and Pharrell, they have shows, and I think even though those shows are more thematically oriented as opposed to being addressing the same concerns on a week-to-week basis, you just got to find people out there whose tastes align with yours, and then but you got to find them, and that's not easy.
Because I mean, for me, I take it as like this versus that, meaning back then versus today, and I kind of separate myself with that. I'm not saying I hate today's music, but I just feel like I generally just felt like the soul and that whole that sound that
listen, when you're in your early 20s, your brain is still developing, and they've done studies on this saying that the music that you listen to as an adolescent, as your brain was forming, for whatever scientific explanation there is, I'm not sure what it is, but it makes sense that the music that you were enjoying at a time when like every week you were experiencing something new, and life had this freshness and this novelty to it. That's going to be the music that resonates with you the most as you get older. So I think we have to be careful. On the one hand, we can acknowledge that that our music means more to us than anything else, and we might even say it was better back then. But I think we have to be careful and not we can't tell kids that are now in their teens and 20s that their music is garbage, because you know what, to them it isn't.
No, and my mom said the same thing to me. Is that
and it doesn't matter what we say. It's completely irrelevant. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
And but there are also kids that like the new stuff, and they like they might like the more trap stuff and the mumble rap, but they also might like guys that are pushing hip hop forward, whether you're talking about a Kendrick or J. Cole, and these are guys that I'm familiar with. I don't study them, and I like some of that new generation stuff, but again, that's just not where I'm at. It's like I did that already.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you this. I could do top 5, but who is your number 1 favorite artist of all time?
In hip hop or
anything. I know
I'm gonna get flack for this, but it's the Beatles.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay.
In hip hop, it's Rakim.
Okay. How do you feel about DJs today and technology being mostly done on computers versus what you did and what a lot of DJs did back in the day? I'm not trying to pit one against the other. I'm just saying, do you think it's the same skill set, just a different format? Or are you saying that back, because you have, I'm hearing, just basically because I hear from all sides, like that's not real. It is real, photography too. Everything's digital now. So
Sure.
the ones that shot film were.
So
how do you feel?
The digitalization of everything has certainly lowered the bar, and it's made entry into various fields much easier.
Yeah.
When before we went digital, it took a special kind of person to become a DJ. You had to be kind of a maniac, right? Because you had to go record shopping all the time. You had to, just to stay current on music meant you either had to buy records all the time or have enough of a reputation where you got promos from record labels, and for any real DJ it meant doing both. Even though I was getting records from every label, I was in record stores all the time buying imports, buying indie records that by labels that didn't promote records in the traditional way that bigger indies and major labels do. And it meant carrying records around. It meant it was you have to be a certain type of obsessed person
to want to because everything now is just
to
on
invest
the
the time and money into that. And once the world went digital, it meant that basically in a matter of, you could become a DJ in a matter of minutes. And there are DJs that don't even know how to DJ, and they're getting booked to be paid a lot of money. A lot of the times they're like, sexy women who dress in these provocative outfits who stand on stage and get paid money, and they might not even be DJing. They might just be playing a pre-recorded mix and gyrating behind the turntables.
A couple girls in my agency turned DJs, and I was people always told me to be, and I was like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to study how to do it. I wanted to take
This is a common thing. Yeah. So, but with regards to format, it doesn't matter what you're playing your music on. For me, I just want to hear, if you're going to be playing files, I want files that are going to be as true to the original music, so as uncompressed as possible, whether they're wave files or a high quality MP3. But I've seen guys on controllers in Ableton do phenomenal stuff. I've seen guys play on vinyl and they're horrible. So it doesn't matter what the format is. It matters on your taste and your presentation. And there are real DJs doing incredible things, pushing music forward. Some of them are more traditional. Some of them are breaking rules with technology, with their own production, whatever. It's a big world out there, and I think it's you have to avoid making simple generalizations about that person's not they're using a computer, that's not real. There's and you see people marketing their night as all vinyl set. It's like, so what? So you bought a bunch of records. Anyone can do that because now you've got Discogs. You can go on Discogs and go record shopping without leaving your house. It doesn't mean anything. And if you have money to spend on the records, cool. Yeah. You did it. Yeah. Congratulations. Yeah. It just really, you got to assess everyone on a case by case basis, and those clubs where they're paying non-DJs to DJs. Well, that's that kind of club, right? You can't put me in that club because I'd be miserable playing for that crowd. Yeah,
I get it. Well, speaking of clubs and parties and stuff, so I want to talk about your new book that you have here.
Yes,
it's dope.
Just came out last week. It's called No Sleep: NYC Nightlife Flyers, 1988 to 1999.
That's sick.
Although, truth be told, there are very few flyers in here from 95 to 99. This just came out, and people are really digging it.
Yeah.
This is a special time in New York. I would say it's the last era of a truly it's the last era when New York City was, to me, felt a lot more integrated. So you'd go to clubs and you'd hear different genres of music in different rooms. You would have a real kind of mixed up fabric of people. So you're talking about people from different boroughs, people from different socioeconomic backgrounds, people of different races, people of different sexual orientations. I think it's a lot more, people are a lot more self-segregated now.
Yeah.
And this is also, represents a time when, when we didn't have the internet and Instagram and immediate access to information, when
but people showed up.
People handed flyers to you and said, "Oh, here's a party I'm having," and you looked at the flyer and you're like, "Oh, this is speaking to me in some way. I'm going to go check it out."
Yeah. Going through the subway cars.
Yeah, wherever, barbershop, subways, boutiques, or just someone stopping on the street because you look like someone that they'd want at their party. When people actually,
That's sick.
It's an overused word, but parties used to be curated by promoters. They would want certain mixes of people at their parties, and now it's they're just worrying about getting people in there that have money that can spend it, and that sparks whole, other conversations about gentrification.
We can talk about that. Yeah, it's a whole other
real
topic.
estate.
I don't know what camera I'm looking into, but
that's. You wrapping it up?
I'm gonna wrap. Yeah.
What about? I want to tell your viewers about our film.
Oh my gosh.
Come on.
I'm horrible. No, the film that I love. I'm just like, what am I talking about? I watched that thing 3 times.
That's how I got here. Right?
That's basically I stalked you. No. Tell me about that dope film that everyone's watching.
So, for those of you that don't know, from 1990 to 1998, I did a radio show here in New York City on Columbia University's WKCR 89.9. That's I was going to school there, and that's why I had access to the radio station. I had a young Robert Garcia, aka Bobito, do the show with me. We did it from 90 to 98, and in those 9 years, we were the place that the world first heard a young Jay-Z, a even younger Nas, an unknown Eminem, Busta Rhymes, Mobb Deep, Big L, an unsigned Wu-Tang Clan, and the list just goes on and on and on.
See how big my smile gets. I'm like
the Fugees, DMX, Capone Noriega. I'm forgetting some people, and we made a film about it. Bobito directed it. I co-produced it. Music supervised it. It's called Stretch and Bobito: Radio That Changed Lives. It's been on Showtime for a better part of 6 to 8 months, and we just hit Netflix in 190 plus countries last week.
That's huge.
So check it out.
That's awesome. Yeah, check it out. I mean, everyone I've talked to has already watched it 3 times. So it's, you guys are doing big things still. Yeah, but thank you for joining. You're a true athletist, and that's a wrap.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you just saved all these?
Not all, man. Okay, a lot of them are, but.
Oh, wow. Oh, you're gonna get so much love in
people are fucking digging this book hard. Not just, I mean, this is also, this represents a time when New York was still that, that beacon for everybody. Everyone wanted to be in New York. Now, not as much. So all right.
Okay, let's do it.
We're back.
You good, babe?
Yeah.
You rolling?
Yeah.
Okay.